Hello, 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 hello. I'm here relatively, well, it's already 5:20. Okay, maybe I'm just never going to be right on time because time just frickin' flew by today as well, as it always seems to do. Um, let's see, I need this guy. So I went ahead and put groove channels in essentially V channels, but like very small ones, in the gusset that we're sewing on. Um, so I'm hoping that is going to help the gusset fold. Now, I'm gonna get here. I've got me coffee. I know it's 5 p.m. I probably shouldn't be drinking coffee, but I doth have a double espresso. I've got my bag, I've got my water. We're all set up, ready to go. And look at that, there's not all this setting up that I have to do today. Although, actually, I'm gonna say that. The laptop divider's on the other side of the table. So I have to now go around and grab this goober, because that's going to be sewn in. Okay. OBKB. OBKB, OBKB. It's a deep cut. I will bet $100 that I don't have that no one would be able to tell me where the phrase OBKB comes from. And I know I'll win that bet because there's no one on the live. So there's no one to... Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy. So I can confirm that the channels I grooved in there are not really helping all that much. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. And turn it around so that you can see me. Or, I mean, more importantly, so you can see the bag. Okay, this audio is not going to be super great quality. My mic ran out of battery. Thanks for letting me know, Tim. I don't know. I mean, I do know. I just forgot to charge this thing. So, I'll make sure to charge this tonight so that doesn't happen again. Hello, Tim. I don't remember if you have been on here before or not. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's been a little while. If you were on here before, I know it's been a little while since I've been on. I had computer problems and I had to send my computer in and get it repaired, and then that took like a week or two, and but I'm back now. So we're working on this bag. We're finally sewing on one of the gussets, and we're gonna kind of see it come together on one side. We're gonna get an idea of what it actually is gonna look like in the end. So I'm just, I'm taking it slow, getting back into the lives, trying to just, I want to make sure I don't drop the ball on this, Because now, I've got some artist friends who are very successful on Instagram, and I told them I was doing YouTube, and one of them was like, I don't really think that you should be doing YouTube because he thinks that it's like more so people who want to learn how to do something, and instead of like people who are, for instance, going to like see this and then go and buy a product. But I actually, I agree, but what's cool, what I haven't really seen in the market for like the leather business is leather workers monetizing other leather workers. So, and what I mean by that is like, it's very easy to attract peers when you do something like this, when, this is a very specific thing. When you get into the leather craft, man, it is your entire life. And so, leather crafters are very interested in leather. And so we follow a lot of other leather accounts to see what they're doing and maybe get new ideas and whatnot. And I remember being so frustrated that it was like, oh, I can only attract other leather workers. I don't know how to attract people who might actually buy from me. But the thought never crossed my mind to like, hey, is there a way I can actually monetize the other leather workers? And that sounds like sleazy, and so I don't like saying it like that, but it's basically like, can I serve the other leather workers in a way that where like they will want to give me money? Can I offer something that will serve them really well and help them? Because you should come from a place of sincerity, of like sincerely wanting to help. Can I make a product, and hint, hint, an information product that will serve them really well to the point where they'll actually want to give me money for it? Ooh, why is this? And ooh, did I skip a stitch? Well, poo. I skipped a stitch on the top grain. It happens. It happens. I have to go back a stitch or two. Hold on. Just imagine a reverse sound on a vehicle. I almost just thought that was going to fall again. So back to my story, let's say. I realized that I've been doing this long enough to where I have some information that I think would genuinely help leather workers who are just starting out. Would help them like get through the first few months, let's say, smoother than I did. And so I realized that I could make an information product, which is I plan on doing. I haven't, I mean, I say I plan on doing. It's like I haven't actually started working on it yet. To be honest, I don't know where to start with that. I may ask. I've got a friend of mine, Corey, that is really good on camera. I mean, really good, like, with a camera. And I may ask him to help me film, like, essentially, I just want to make a good, a distilled down course, or I don't like calling it a course because I think it gives a bad connotation. But basically like a little repository of knowledge that is easily accessible, that where there's like zero fluff, all gold, where someone can watch, it's easy to follow along, easy to take notes and everything. Where like it'll actually help them. And I don't really know where to begin with a project like that. I just skipped a stitch again. Good gravy. Hand sewing big things like this is probably one of the hardest things to do in the craft, because there's so much like thread and oh no I'm gonna have to undo this whole thing because I forgot to put in the laptop divider. Okay. Well, that's not good. I was totally lost in thought. Okay. Oh, bear with me. I'm gonna have to backstitch now and yeah, and I'm not like setting any expectations for these lives for myself as to like how much I want to get done and whatever. It's just something for me to do at my own pace, and I want to provide something for you guys where you can just come and chill and watch me work. You don't have to listen to me talk. You can freaking have the sound off if you want. But just where you can come and chill and relax and get away from all the noise on the internet right now. And So like I don't feel the need to set a precedent for myself for how much I want to get done, or like, oh, I have to sew this entire gusset today. I might just call it done now and come back in tomorrow and sew the rest of this gusset, and then maybe the next day I'll do the entire other one. I don't know. I think it's definitely going to be easier to sew the other one. Now this one's almost in. Because then the bag will actually already be like shaped. So it's gonna be less to deal with. I might even just sew the other one normally, like a normal saddle stitch. Oh lordy, oh lordy, lordy, lordy. What the fuck is wrong with me sometimes? Okay, I can tell I'm getting to a point of not being productive. Because I'm just making stupid mistakes here that I usually wouldn't make. You know, and as creatives, this is the one downside of doing something creative, right? Is that you want to always be making, and some days it's just not happening. And some days you're going to make stupid mistakes that, you know, that you usually wouldn't make. And now, like this one, oh lordy, this one that happened isn't as big of a deal because it's easy to undo, but like, you know, I've had mistakes that are much bigger deals when I try and quote unquote push through, let's say. And I've made much bigger mistakes that like cost me an entire project or got me a little injured or something because I'm trying to push through when I'm like frustrated and just like it's not happening, you know? And I'm thinking today might be one of those days. Because I told you earlier that I pushed through and I got a wallet done and whatever, but like so I made the wallet once and I made a fucking tragic mistake that costed me the entire wallet and I had to make it over again. Which, you know, if that's ever happened to you, that sucks. And so I stepped away, did something else for a little bit, came back, was able to make the wallet again, and whatever. But the point is that as an artist, sometimes the day just like some days you're not gonna do good work and everything's gonna go wrong, and it's your responsibility as an artist to know when it's one of those days and to be able to accept that it's one of those days and just step away. And, you know, I'm saying that to myself, and I think that today is one of those days. Now, that's not to say that like if you're feeling bad, you shouldn't work. Because that's not true. Because a lot of the times when you're feeling bad, you can push through, and once you start doing, the feeling goes away. You know, the feeling just temporary, and you're able to like push through that initial resistance. If you've ever read the book War on Art, I mean, I haven't, but I know the premise because I've watched podcasts where they talk about it. The author talks about something called resistance, where it's like for a writer, every time they sit down to write part of their book, they like have to fight this battle to start, you know, and 99% of the time, if you just fight against that lazy voice, which the artist calls or the author calls it resistance. If you can fight against that initial resistance, it pretty quickly goes away, and you're able to get into a good flow state and work. But some days, you fight through that initial resistance, and you might be in a flow state, and then something happens, or like you try and fight through the resistance, and it just persists and persists. And on those days, you have to be willing to step away and just know that day is just not going to be a productive day for you. And maybe you find other stuff to do that isn't necessarily your art, but still like pushes you forward, which I usually can find something to do that is something that I need to do that isn't necessarily the art, or in this case the craft. But yeah, you have to know when to step away. And I think that this is going to be one of those times. The fact that I sewed half of this side of the gusset without realizing that I didn't put the freaking backpack divider in is pretty insane, I gotta say. So I mean, like, that's like a really dumb mistake. To be totally honest. So I think I'm going to just, I think this is a good learning experience for me. I'm going to clip up with the binder, or with the laptop divider in the seam. I'm going to clip this up so that I don't make the same mistake tomorrow. And I'm just going to fucking step away. Today was a hard day for me. Someone I kind of stupidly trusted, but trusted nonetheless, they said something really terrible to me. Not like giving me terrible news, but they just said something very harmful and very unnecessarily hurtful to me yesterday. And I mean, it was a family member. And it's a family member in a position where, the words linger. And I was dealing with that all day today. Just like the repercussions of that. The anger and the, like, wondering if they were right, which they're not. It's just they say unnecessarily hurtful things. A lot. Be honest. Did I come out of the... What's going on here? What is going on here? So I mean, I was... Oh. I'm so confused as to what the heck is going on here. Sorry, the thread is like stuck, and I don't know. It's like stuck in the suede, and I'm very confused how that's even freaking possible. Somehow I went like underneath the suede, and that has literally never happened to me before. How did this even happen? Okay, I'll just thread the needle again. That's so strange. I'm very confused how that happened. What was I saying? Yeah, so this family member just said something very hurtful, and so I was dealing with that the other day. He said this yesterday, and it's just, I mean, you know, this particular family member positioned himself in a way where his words, even though, in my opinion, he's kind of full of shit, his words carry a lot of weight. And so when he says something hurtful, it's like a fucking, like, bullet. Emotionally, it feels like a bullet. Not that I've ever been shot, so I guess I wouldn't really know what a bullet feels like, but it just, like, I can feel it in my chest now. I can feel it in my heart, like where this feeling just fucking curls up around you and like starts to just squeeze, and so I've been dealing with that all day, and I've pushed through. I've been as productive as I could be. I had planned to do something else that I just didn't do. And I've tried to stay. Somehow something else happened now. I somehow got this into a knot. Are you serious? Oh my god. Are you serious? Alright, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Today is just not my day. Today, like, I need to accept that and just fucking turn this live off and go, I don't know, fucking watch a positive documentary or something and make plans for tomorrow or whatever. Because today is clearly not my day. I don't know what the Christ. There we go. It wasn't a knot. It was somehow just stuck. I don't know. Yeah, so, clearly I'm having one of those days, and I need to just, I'm almost done unthreading this, and then I'm going to just turn this live off, and I'm going to go upstairs, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to just step away for the rest of the day, probably. I mean, it is already 6:15, so. And I'm trying not to let my negative emotion kind of bleed over into my content, because that's not serving anyone. Oh, shiitake mushrooms, what the? Okay. Yeah. I'm going to leave this for today, and we will come back tomorrow, and we're going to not forget the backpack, the laptop divider. Let me switch this to the different camera where I don't have to crane my